All right, Kenny. So, is that kind of like starting your own company, just running off of a cliff, trying to figure it out all the way down?
There's definitely some similarities there. A lot of naive optimism involved.
What's up? I'm Ira, and this is the second installment of the AirPod podcast. And I've got another tech founder, pivotal person in the industry, and one of my good friends, Ken Robertson, with me. So we're going to go do a little flying and talk about fundraising, startups, and kind of how what led us through these journeys, and kind of from Ken's opinion. And so, yeah, here we're about to go get after it. So
It's gonna be awesome.
All right, so AirPod engage. Run towards.
Engage.
You gotta do most of the running. There we go.
And we're off.
All right, Kenny. So, is that kind of like starting your own company, just running off of a cliff, trying to figure it out all the way down?
There's definitely some similarities there. A lot of naive optimism involved. Just trusting your life to your buddies.
Yeah. So,
almost like a co-founder relationship.
Talk to me a little bit about like the co-founder and kind of how you got into startup technology, and you were the co-founder of a medical education company, right?
Yeah, I definitely would not say that was on purpose. Actually, a great journey, Picmonic, visual online, medical education. Started that with my younger brother, Ron Robertson. He was in med school, asked me to help him with yet another business venture. Told him I'd give him a year. After raising $5 million, getting 1 million healthcare students to use the product, sold that. But yeah, that was a 12-year journey through learning everything, trial and error. It was great.
Nice. Would you do it again?
100%.
Yeah.
I was living the corporate life before that, and it's a totally different game, but 100% worth it. No question.
Okay.
No question.
What was the kind of pivotal moment you were like, okay, we're gonna do this? Do you have one, or do you?
Well, back to that naive optimism. It was like originally like, yeah, we're gonna do this. This shouldn't be a lot of work. We can do this as a side job. Be at 100 million in revenue in 2 years. That shouldn't be a problem. So I guess, just right out of the gates, it was like, well, this makes sense. The product, the market opportunity made sense. So
yeah, the product was it was medical education system, correct?
Medical education with cartoon mnemonics.
Nice. And so you found a target market, kind of a hole in the market, and then went after it, and exploited assets and resources to build a company around that.
Exactly. And we were, mid-20s, didn't know what we were doing, but got some friends together. And truth be told, I kind of say we made every mistake in the book.
Yeah, well, hopefully we don't make too many mistakes right now. So that's Alicia Keys' house, and
which one?
I think a little bit of risk and is always keeps you on your toes a little bit. So I think that's something I've learned from you. You have tons of wisdom, now a family man, and kind of took this startup world and then transitioned into more of the investment banking for a little while. Is that correct? I don't like.
Yeah. So when we did sell our company, and that's just something some people dream about. Not necessarily was the dream, but once you take investment capital, whether from the friends and family, the angels, or true venture money, and we did all those, you eventually have to have a liquidation event at some point. So had to get that investors their money back. So that was the business model, the plan, and we did do that. Took a while. So ended up selling into a private equity roll-up of other medical education companies. And that was great. The primary company had already been purchased, then they bought us, but it was through a private equity firm out of Philadelphia, actually. And so once we were acquired, we spent about 7 months still focused solely on running our business. So we just got to know each other with the new companies. And then the year after that, 2022 was all about integrating. So fully integrated our team, the products, all the back office stuff. And that really freed my brother and I up to focus on other things as opposed to really running our own company. So I moved up to kind of acting as head of operations, COO role of the overall combined entities, and working heavily with the private equity group on really M&A was a big strategy. So I went from running the deal, being acquired, to being on the acquirer side and evaluating a bunch of different companies. Some of those went through, ended up purchasing the companies. A lot of them didn't, but I learned a ton through that, which was super beneficial to really know what the other side's looking for.
Yeah, sounds like it, and that's a really cool that you got to go full cycle with that. And what are you working on now? Like what are you doing? Like you kind of took a little bit of a hiatus, and
yeah, kind of well-deserved, much-needed hiatus after we ended up. My brother and I at the same time did step out of that company. We'd done what we needed to, and it was just it'd been 12 years, so it was time to move on. Other desires in life, and as I'd mentioned, I kind of got pulled into the medical education sphere. Wasn't really
make a pretty hard turn.
Sweet. Let's fucking do it! Woohoo! Yeah! Woohoo!
All right. We're not getting much love right now. So sometimes this is paragliding very much like startup company stuff because sometimes you get a lot of love and the wind is in your face and you're kind of rolling, but other times you're just what we call scratching. So in the startup world, it's kind of like grinding. So right now we're grinding. We're probably going to grind one of the most beautiful beaches, but to the beach here in a little bit. But so Kenny, yeah, so you kind of been to full gamut. What do you have any like main takeaways? Like I know, and it was awesome watching you and your brother do this together. That's probably one of the biggest things that I saw is that you were able to do this with a family member and kind of see through, I'm sure, conflict and all that other stuff. Any guidance on that one? Because I think we all think.
I think. I mean, we succeeded at it, and there's no greater, I don't know, love and feeling and accomplishment than just having done that with my brother.
Yes.
Starting, building, exiting, going full circle, providing jobs for people, helping so many students succeed. But doing that with my brother and best friend was absolutely phenomenal. And a lot of people say be wary of doing business with family members. It's true though. It's dangerous, but at the same time, doing that, we were able to do it, and it was, you never had to worry about do you trust your co-founder to do the right thing?
Run this out here in a second. Nice. And we're
alive!
A little bit off mark, but awesome. Well,
what was it? What was the podcast?
The AirPod podcast, and we'll catch
AirPod podcast.
Yeah, the AirPod. And, Ken Robertson, Ira Hayes, and we can get a little more. So I know that was kind of short, but just want to introduce my friends to my love of aviation and innovation. So that's kind of my thing. Is I like aviation and innovation, and this seems
aviation
like a good
innovation. Beautiful.
A good medium for it. We're now at Black's, like the number one, my favorite surf beach in for sure Southern California, and yeah. So if anyone's ever interested, hit me up and hit Ken up if you need some financial advice. Really cool
startup advice, anything, yeah. But
about the
Whip Ventures now, my brother and I, consulting startup companies.
Whip Ventures, okay, cool.
Whip Ventures, yeah.
That's awesome. So you kind of take your lessons learned and
oh yeah,
yeah.
try to help other entrepreneurs not make all the same mistakes we did. Like that's just
like
accomplished 10 years in 2 years.
Nice. And so a little bit. That's awesome, dude. Like Whip Ventures, and yeah, like I'll be back with another one of these and try to stop saying as much. So it's a little bit hard to interview and try to do this while flying a paraglider close proximity to the cliffs, and this is a different form of flying because you're so close at all points.
I didn't realize that.
And so that's what we're trying to harness, that ridge lift. We're trying to get in the sweet spot, get the timing right, just like business and all these other things. So we're trying to be in the sweet spot.
So many analogies.
And every once in a while, you land on the beach and you have to walk, enjoy the
go back up the hill,
enjoy it, and walk back up the hill and do it again.
Esteban!
Oh, there's yeah. All right, so thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day, Kenny.
You too, buddy. Appreciate it. Love you, man.
Awesome, buddy.
That was rad.